Lie. That's right. We don't want that. Part of what your work is, though, is around being gentle with other people when they do hurt you. Because you've got quite a mouth on you. This is not a person who's incapable of speaking, am I right? Or speaking your thoughts. Okay, so that means I don't want to fight with you. We can be friends. I just stole this birthday. But that is part of the work. The work is in maintaining compassion and maintaining a generosity of spirit as much as you have when you're happy and feel full when someone hurts you. So it's getting into the GPS state and saying, okay, something's gone off wacky here. Destination's still the same, still want to be your friend, still want to be your partner, still want to be your mother, whatever it is. But let's just make sense of this, because somewhere there was a need for a U-turn and it didn't happen. Do you understand? No judgment. It's very different when the judgment comes in, because you're quick at that. You're like a forensic specialist. You're an attorney. No. Okay. It would have been a great one. So there is a natural ability here for you to see between the lines, isn't there? But you also spend a little bit too much time looking between the lines. Sometimes people don't mean so much. Do you understand what I mean? They just don't. Not every BBM message is an attack. Just a thought. Sometimes if it doesn't come with a smiley face at the end of it, it's still friendly. Okay, does that have value? Yeah? Good. Pick, you can fight for it. Yes, go for it. Yes. 10th of April 1980. Is that correct? We're going to start wrapping up soon. Is that watch accurate? 25 to 11? Yeah, so we've got some stuff we want to do before the mall is open. So let's look at this. The 10th of April 1980, and we're looking at somebody who has a natural ability to analyze. Wow. In your thoughts, eh? Doing a lot of thinking? Is that your favorite exercise, jumping to conclusions? Or, I mean, is there other space? Okay, so what you've got going on here is a natural ability to script things. In your mind, you know how things should happen before they happen. Right? So you have very high standards, very set precepts and ideas about how things should happen. What does happen sometimes is that it can be quite disappointing when that doesn't happen, when that reality doesn't happen. So what I'm going to say to you is that best lived out is to try script as little as possible. Destination is hopefully to have a good time this evening. Don't know how that'll play out, don't know what can happen, but let's just deal with whatever does happen. Instead of tonight, this should happen and this should happen and this should happen and this should happen. He should say that and she should say that. Like 8 out of 10 things did not happen. It was a bad night. That is very disheartening. But I know that you must have lived a lot of your childhood in that way. I want this to happen, I want that to happen, I want this to happen, and then it doesn't happen. It's very disappointing. So one thing you have to realize is that your value as a human being and what you're about is not affected by what doesn't happen unless you allow it. It's your permission. Same way with I can't make you any happier than you came in this morning. If you choose to respond in a way that you feel inspired and a bit excited and maybe you're ready to look for what was your enough or find one or get get on with it, yay, I mean that was part of the point, isn't it? But if you live your life in expectation, you are setting yourself up for disaster. Yeah, so maybe look at that. I think we'll take 1 or 2 more. I'm just going to go to this side because it's cruel. Oh, please do. I'll repeat it, carry on. That's a great question. So now, do you think that my mother dragged me by the front of my hair to every achievement and every trophy? No, I pushed and pushed and pushed because I thought it would create fullness. See, I didn't feel full enough. There were things that bothered me. What did I say originally? Nobody asked. Thank you. Nobody asked. Why is this such a big deal for you? Without judgment. No one said to me, Bev, why do you have to be the best? Why? Why can't you just be the best you can be? Why do you have to be the best ever? Why? Because if someone had just asked me, I'd have said so, because maybe for that moment it'll feel good, and I don't feel good inside. There's a whole whack of pain and disappointment and insecurity, and I don't feel good. And for that minute when people are saying, well done and congratulations and you're fantastic, it feels good for a minute because I don't think about anything else, maybe because everyone's around making noise. So what I'm saying is that might not be the reason for this child. But the question was, how do you improve the self-esteem of a child who naturally pushes themselves to achieve all the time and no one else is pushing them to achieve? They are naturally pushing. Ask why. Help them make sense of why they're doing it without judgment and only love. You're so naturally driven. Why is that? What is it about the winning for you that feels good? What is it about? Is it the process? No, I hate the process. What is it? What is it? And what else is there? And what else is there? And what else is there? And when they honestly have nothing else to say, the last reason is the reason. So if you want to increase the self-esteem, the message we want to give our children, or adults or anyone, is your achievements do not define you. You're not a great human being because you just got the last best award. You're not a great human being because your hair looks exquisite, and it does. But that doesn't make you a great human being. What makes you a great human being is how you honor yourself, how you live within your truth, how you have the courage to not lie on a daily basis. That's what makes us free people. Does that make sense? So, sweetheart, if you're pushing to do this because it makes you feel great, only after they've given you their reasons, make no assumptions, sweetheart, you are special, you are valuable. You're not defined by what you do. It's forgotten. Front page today, it's forgotten. It has to mean something to really carry weight in your life. It has to be part of who you are.
At such a young age, they'll actually know why, or have an explanation or reason why they're doing it. I don't know.
I think 3- and 4-year-olds know what makes them sad. I spoke about this at the AGM a few weeks ago. I was standing behind a mother and daughter who must have been 4 or 5 checking out a card for parking at a mall. And I was standing behind her, and this little girl took her mummy's hand and she looked up at her and she said, "Mommy, I'm so sad that Fruzy died." And I thought, wow, what an in-touch kid, speaking her truth and telling her mummy how sad she is. And in that moment, which I thought, this is the perfect opportunity that parents should yearn for, to be able to say, to build the kid, acknowledge their competence in defining their own feelings, and give them some kind of pride about who they are and how they can speak their truth without the fear of judgment. What did mommy say? No, you're not. Fruzy was old. Oh, I thought, all right, well, she'll bank that somewhere, and then one day her mum will die and someone will say, "You're sad, shame." No, she was old. Old things died, that's what it is. That's what my mummy taught me. To understand the danger. But that was a 4-year-old speaking her truth. Does a 4-year-old have the capability to have a conversation a 50-year-old can have, or a 20-year-old? Maybe better, some, it depends. But generally, no, we don't find they are as equipped. Vocabulary-wise, intellectual-wise, reasoning experience. Can they tell you what makes them feel sad inside? Absolutely, and that's what truth's about. Honouring your sadnesses and stepping away from them, or encouraging people to step away what for you experiences sadness. Does that make sense? Why don't we do one more? Just one more, go ahead.
22nd of the 10th, 2001.
22nd of October 2001. Okay, so what do we have here? A young boy. Yeah, just a guess. Just a guess, not an oracle. All right, so now we're looking at the 22nd of October 2001 at this young boy. Wow. There's just one big word. Is this your son? There's one big word I can encourage you with this boy. Gentle. I know that he's going to try you and push his luck and push his boundaries. He is going to literally push you to the limit. But his whole journey is about finding his own story, living who he is, independent of the opinions of others, with the courage to be flexible and different without fear. That's his work. That is not simple little easy, can I have a jelly tot work. That is deep work, requiring a GPS encourager and whistleblower and flag flyer without judgment. Because this boy does all his judging himself. We don't need your help. That I can promise you. There's a lot of deep introspection and self-analysis going on here already. And he's only what? He's only 9, if math serves me. So that is his natural being. Strongly opinionated to protect himself. That's what he'll do. He almost retreats and attacks when he's hurt, doesn't he? Yeah, with drama, flair, and a whole lot of, doesn't he? Try not to keep things out of truth. You seem upset. Did I disappoint you? No, that's not, thank you, I'm glad, but you should be saying that to him is what I'm so glad. Thank you for that, but I'm encouraging you to say that to him when he gets upset. You seem upset. Did I disappoint you? Have I hurt you? What were you hoping would happen? I spoke to the lady down there. Right, she also scripts stuff. Get out of expectation. He is a natural script writer. I wouldn't even be surprised if one day he becomes a playwright, a storyteller, who knows, or an outstanding attorney. There's so much scope. But at the end of the day, with this boy's analytical mind and forensic attention to detail, he sees straight through you, doesn't he? He sees you coming. So the best thing I can encourage him with you with him, is gentle. Gentle. He has to find his truth, and it's not going to be the easiest journey. He's different, isn't he? He's a different kid on his own journey, and he needs to be encouraged to honour that, not try and conform. I'd like to end with 2 things. I'm not going to make that 3 now. I'm not going to be able to do profiling after we end. I do profile and consult professionally, and I've agreed to do everybody's rate at the rate I've offered the King David families. So if you want to consult with us, with pleasure, you can certainly contact me through my website. The other thing I wanted to say is that I'd like to just go over that quote one more time and perhaps leave you with it, and then I'll leave you with a quick story. So remember that the journey of 500 steps starts when you say, enough. It doesn't start because someone forces you or says something to you or insists on something. It starts when you lay down the gauntlet of your life, get excited about the dark and say, enough. Why am I reacting this way? Why do I respond this way? What is holding me back from being truthful in my life, with my friends, with my partner, with my children, with myself? Constantly. How can I live consciously? How can I wake up and live awake? Instead of waking up an hour after I say, no, I don't need to be included, going, oh, I wish I hadn't said that. It feels so bad to be excluded. Do you understand what I'm saying? So one more time. There are free men with the spirit of a slave, and there are slaves whose spirit is full of freedom. He who honors his inner truth and lives according to it is a free man. He who lives his life on the stage of what is good or beautiful in the eyes of others is a slave. And it reminds me of the story of a man standing with his dog. I'm sure a lot of you have heard it. Thank you for that. And the dog is whining the whole time. And someone else walks up to the dog and says, what's wrong with your dog? He's in pain. The man says, yeah. Yep, he's in pain. He says, but he's whining. He says, yeah, he's whining. He says, well, why? He says, because he's sitting on a nail. Why doesn't he just get up, get away from the nail? He says, well, that means he would have to move. Have a wonderful rest of the morning. Thank you so much for your unbelievable attention. Thank you.